I reported back to Secret HQ immediately after meeting with the mysterious contact. As strange as he was, he did provide me with very useful information that was incredibly vital to my mission. I couldn't afford a delay. I dropped off my bike at the parking lot and took the elevator down to the same conference room I was in before. I couldn't say that I was particularly happy about speaking with the directors again, but this was urgent. Once the elevator doors opened on my level, I hastily stepped out. I was met by the same secretary from before, who seemingly, out of habit, just gave me a curt nod before she returned to her paperwork. I took a quiet breath before I opened the door to my least favorite room in HQ. I felt a sense of déjà vu, as once again the entire room was dark, minus the small part I was in. Somehow, I felt like there were more people in here than last time. The shadowed figures stopped whatever they were doing and focused on me.
Agent Moore, a pleasure to see you again.
A voice said. I recognized him as the main figure for the directors.
What do you have for us?
A female voice added. I pushed aside all inappropriate comments that I so wished to have voiced, and resumed a professional attitude. I met with the contact for my mission file. He gave me some very interesting information.
Oh?
I could have practically felt the main director's eyebrows rise.
And what would that be?
I took out the datapad and set it on the table. The director on the end took it, scanned it, and then passed it on to the next member. This process continued until the figure in the middle got it. He too scanned through it, though much more attentively.
These are some very serious accusations, Agent Moore.
He commented.
Are you sure we can trust this contact?
I could feel the stares of all the directors pointed at me, as they expectantly waited for my answer. While I can't give credit to the contact's mentality, all I can say is that we need to take his information seriously. We can't afford to slip up, otherwise we're screwed. The Phantoms will do anything to seize world power. So yes, I do believe that the contact's information is viable. My answer gave the directors pause as they murmured between themselves. I crossed my arms as I waited for their reaction. All at once, the murmuring stopped, and the leader spoke again.
Given your service record and your loyalty to the Seekers, we trust your judgment. Commence an internal investigation within our ranks.
He said.
However, we have our doubts about this Martin Hill's involvement in providing the Phantoms confidential information on the Seekers. He was never part of our organization, and as much as we can tell, he doesn't have a relation with any of our agents. Do you have any proof of this?
Not yet, I replied, but I will be able to in less than a month.
Explain,
the figure stated. I scrambled to my coat pocket and took out the ticket for the Salute to Vienna concert. According to the contact, Mr. Hill will be attending this event. This will be our only chance of catching him out in the open. We can ask him ourselves once we have him in our custody. The female director spoke.
Where did you get that ticket?
I shuffled awkwardly in my position. My guardian gave it to me. The main director nodded his head.
Of course, Agent Delta has done his research.
He stated as if it were obvious.
What do you think our next course of action should be?
I think we need to attend this event and catch him. Exactly what Agent Moore suggested.
I turned toward the source of the voice and narrowed my eyes. So he was the extra person. The one I should have been the least surprised to see. Agent Delta? I simply said.
Agent Moore.
He greeted. You knew about all of this, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
He replied.
I did my own research on Phantom activities. You'd be amazed by the sheer number of Phantom dealings that occur within our own cities. Needless to say, it's vital that we put a stop to them.
He finally stepped out of the shadows and revealed to me his familiar form. I stared blankly at him. I only met him over a month ago, and I was already used to him.
What are your plans now, Agent Delta?
The main director asked. Delta turned to face the directors.
Agent Moore and I will be tracking any Phantom dealings related to Martin Hill until the concert.
I stared at him, slightly shocked. Since when was there a we? Delta tilted his head towards me, and a small smile formed on his face.
Like it or not, Agent Moore, but this mission is mine just as it is yours. You'll have to get used to working with me.
I held back a snort, and instead mumbled to myself, for having to get used to him pop up at the most odd moments. I could have sworn I heard a light chuckle come from him.
Do you require any additional seeker support, Agent Delta?
The female member asked. Said person shook his head.
That won't be necessary. I believe Agent Moore and I are more than capable of handling this on our own.
I raised an eyebrow at his remark. Since when was he so eager to suddenly work with me? Either way, it didn't matter. I was able to continue with my investigation. While his answer satisfied the directors that we were dismissed from the creepy room, I let out a sigh of relief. Once in the hallway, as I walked with Agent Delta by my side back to the armored elevator. Once again, the Guardian let out a breath of his own. I glanced at him in curiosity.
What?
He asked when he finally noticed me looking at him. Are you stalking me or something? I asked bluntly. He blinked.
I'm not. I'm merely doing my duty as your guardian, while indirectly helping you with your investigation.
I raised an eyebrow. Why would you want to help me? You barely know me. The Guardian shrugged.
I tend to make good judgment of people. I've decided you're trustworthy.
I raised an eyebrow, yet I was slightly touched by his opinion of me. I tend to make good judgments of people as well, yet I'm not sure about you. For all I know, you could be a phantom spy sent to keep an eye on me. My comment seemed to have hit a touchy subject, for the Guardian bent his head and looked away. I winced at my harsh comment, but it was too late. After a moment in unwanted tense silence, he spoke.
I assure you, I'm not a phantom agent. They have affected so many people, and not in good ways. I'm here to stop the pain that they've inflicted on innocent people.
His fists were balled up, and I could practically feel the fury radiating off him in waves. I was caught in between whether I should try to comfort Agent Delta, or simply say nothing. Mercifully, the elevator door opened to expose the main area of the secret building. We both stepped out, though Agent Delta seemed to have wanted to speed away from me. I felt a feeling of hurt before I quickly squashed it. I turned towards him. I'm sorry if I made you uncomfortable, I finally said. My comment was uncalled for. We all lost someone, and I can relate to being desperate and wanting to stop the phantoms. That seemed to have caught his attention.
Lost someone? What?
His eyes widened before he whipped his head away, and practically ran down the large space. I was left there staring at his retreating back in confusion. Was it something I said?